Hello everybody, and thank you for tuning in to P&W Gear. My name is Andrew, and today I am going to be walking through my analog pedal board. And the reason why I'm going to be going through this board is to help teach future guitar players or guitar players to have a pedal board maybe similar, or if you need some help with some gear and on what to put on your board. So please remember, if you like this video, to like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it. And now I'm going to be going through a walkthrough on the pedals that I have on my board. All right, so to the pedal board itself, this is a classic 2 by Pedal Train. It is a great size board. I have the travel case with it with wheels, so it's a great board to move around. Underneath the board, I have 2 Voodoo Lab power supplies. One is the Mondo, and the other one is a 4x4. Power supplies, you do not want to skimp out on your power supplies. You want a clean, isolated power that's gonna power your pedals. It's not gonna give you any problems, nothing to worry about. And the Voodoo Lab power supplies, they do that for me, and they're great. I've had them for years, no problems. They pedal everything great. Now, other thing to mention is that I have all solderless cables on this board. They are George L's and Lava cables. They are solderless. If you have a problem, you fix the connection, or you just make a new cable. You make them to length and size, to length that you need, and they're great. Don't have any problems after making them. And I just will highly recommend that you get solderless cables. Next thing that I'm going to be talking about is my signal chain, and the first thing that I go through straight from the guitar. So straight in this line goes right into the volume pedal. And a lot of people, they either have the volume pedal at the beginning of your signal chain or right after your overdrives. And I like to have it in the beginning because I believe it's a great place for guitar to go through. And on this volume pedal, you can go straight into your tuner. You can have a direct line to it. And I know that this volume pedal does it, and I know the Ernie Ball VP Jr. Has this tuner option as well, and I highly recommend it because you can have a full signal go into your tuner, and while muting your volume pedal, and still getting the signal to the tuner. And speaking of tuners, the tuner that I have on this board is the Ibanez Big Mini tuner. It's about $50, brand new. It's great. It's compact. Highly recommend it. All right, so second thing in my signal chain is I go straight from the volume pedal into this Gervania looper. Now this looper is excellent. I highly recommend this looper, any kind of looper, if you have a lot of pedals, especially a lot of dry pedals on your signal chain. And the reason why is this looper, I have all of my dry pedals and this Boss harmony pedal right here. I have them all on this looper. It is true bypass. If anything fails, I'm still gonna have signal going through whatever pedal may have failed. Now with this looper is you have 8 loops, 8 pedals to go through. And you have also 8 channels, A through H, that you can choose from. And now the biggest thing that I use this for is pedal stacking and quick changes. So in loop H right here, I have the Ego compressor from Wampler and the Strymon Riverside. And when I hit this button, it quickly activates. And if I want to go to something else, I hit loop F. I have the compressor. Then I also have the Strymon Sunset and the Boss Harmony pedal all at once. So you can quickly go through different pedals that you have that activated. They have these little mini toggle switches, as you can see, where you can put whatever pedals you want in that loop. And it's great because you can mute everything and you can bypass it all as well. It says a mute right here. If anything goes wrong, just hit that baby and it will completely cut your signal. So speaking of the signal chain, I have the Whomper Mini Ego compressor. It is a fantastic compressor. I love it. I don't use a lot of compression, mainly just to balance, well, to compress my guitar and to balance it out. Second thing that I go through is the Strymon Riverside, and now I'm into my drive pedals. The Strymon Riverside is great. I mainly use it as a clean boost, light overdrive, and I love to, it's a great pedal to stack with any pedal. I haven't had a pedal that didn't like to stack with the Riverside. And on the Riverside, with most Strymon pedals, is you have the favorite switch. Now on that favorite switch, I have a very high gain lead solo like tone, and you can hit that at any time. My second drive that I'm going through is the Sunset by Strymon. It has 6 independent drives, and you can pick 2 different drives because it is a dual drive pedal, and you can stack them together. You can put A into B, B into A, or separate them. It is a fantastic drive. Had it ever since it came out and won't get rid of it. My third drive that I have on my board is the Revival Drive Compact. It is a transparent drive. It does not color the original guitar mix. It is, again, another drive pedal that you can put with anything. I have not had a pedal I didn't like to stack with. All right, next pedal is the JHS Bonsai, and the Bonsai is 10 different tube screamer clipping stages, anywhere from Keeley JHS to the box OD1 to the original TS9 or the T808 original tube screamers. They're all in the Bonsai. Next drive is, speaking of JHS, and Josh, I hope you're listening, big fan. Thank you for putting out great pedals for us guitar players. And I have the double barrel right here, which is actually the JHS Morning Glory, and it is the version 4, and the Moonshine on the right. So Morning Glory on the left, the Moonshine on the right. And the Moonshine is actually JHS's version of the Tube Screamer, which is the 808 version, I believe. All right, so those are my drive pedals, and again, these are going through this looper here. And then on loop 8, the very last loop, I do have the Boss PS6, which is the harmony pedal. Now, I do switch that out depending on the worship set that we are doing for that week, and either the Electro Harmonix Pog or the TC Electronic 7-Up. I will substitute that spot for one of those. And into my wet signal chain, the first thing I do go through is the Boss MD500. I love this one. I love this whole entire Boss these 500 series. I have all 3 of them, as you can see. I love the Strymon ones, their modulation and delay, the timeline, and the Mobius. I have owned them, but I personally like the screens and the way that you can edit the Boss versions. They're also a little cheaper to obtain, and I like that as well. You can download a great editor for the Boss 500 series. So mostly on the MD500, I will run a dimension, a very light dimension pedal through it, or a very light phaser, chorus, you name it, all the modulation stuff, it's going to be in there. And again, I don't use it much, but depending on the set or the song, is whenever I'll pull it in. So straight from that, I will actually be going into the DD500. It's a great delay pedal. I love it. Again, I've had the timeline, Strymon, it's great stuff, great quality. But again, I like the layout of the DD500 a little bit more. And so I kept that guy. And going from there, I actually have another delay pedal, which is the TC Electronic Flashback. Now, it does have 3 delays accessible. Of course, you can assign them to everything. But I also love this TC Electronic Flashback. It was my first delay pedal I ever owned. And I honestly won't get rid of it. If I do, just be upgrading to the Triple Crown, I believe, by TC Electronic. It's great stuff. It is a little big, but it's worth it. And so from there, I go from the signal chain to the Boss RV500, which is right here. It is, again, great reverb. I love it. Has different accessible reverbs that I put on here. It's kind of my always on. I have a very small hall reverb. If I want to fatten it up, I have a little bit bigger one next to it. But again, you can go through and like edit whatever reverbs that you want. And so from there, I go to the Strymon Big Sky. The Big Sky is probably the best reverb pedal that you can buy. Love it. I especially use it for my big, gigantic reverbs that has a cloud setting that is fantastic, especially in worship music, when you need to fill space but not do a lot, but it be big and beautiful. The cloud setting on the Big Sky is where it's at. And again, you can have multiple presets on these things. And I will say this again, the reason why I have double reverb pedals and double delay pedals is because sometimes in a worship set, you need to be able to access different delays sometimes for every song, or multiple delays in one song. And I do use that. And I know you can get a MIDI controller and change that on a flash by stepping on a button. But I just like having them right there. I can see them, turn them on and off. And if one delay pedal fails, there's another one right there. Same thing with my reverb pedals. And so going from the pedals, I actually got the DSM Humboldt Simplifier, and it is a all analog. It is a 0 watt analog direct cab and amp simulator. So I have no amps. I go straight into the front of house, into our in-ears, and so I don't have to carry around amps with me. I love it. It is fantastic. Now, I will say nothing beats having 2 amps behind you in a live setting, but with most venues, church services, you just can't really have amps on the stage anymore. This way, having a direct solution is easier for the front of house, the technician to mix and just do his job better without having to have a lot of stage volume. So the Humboldt Simplifier, there's a bass and a guitar version. You have a Fender, a Vox, and a Marshall sounds with a 1x12, 2x12, and 4x12 cab simulator. You can adjust the mic positions on the knobs. Now this is a stereo, a stereo option. So I am in complete stereo. As soon as it hits the MD500 through all of my wet effects, I am in stereo. and it is 2 XLR direct outs to the front of house. It is a fantastic amp and cab simulator. When it came out, I got one ASAP, and that thing will never leave. And it is actually very affordable. It is, I believe, brand new for $300, and you cannot beat that. Yeah, it doesn't have a whole lot of amp and cab simulators like a Helix or the HX Stomp or Fractal or even Headrush, but you know, sometimes when you have all these pedals, you don't need that. You just need to have the amp and cab simulator on your board. And so that's what I have right there, and I love it. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to PN Gear. I would love to see your questions and comments down below. I will get to them as soon as possible. If you have any suggestions for other gear reviews, especially for praise and worship, or if you want to see any pedals or guitars or anything, let me know and I will do my best to get to those. Again, please like and subscribe, help the channel grow. I would greatly appreciate it. And thank you very much for tuning in, guys. You have a blessed day.